All right, and um, we now move on to the rise and fall of Napoleon Bonaparte. Um, and let's quickly remember where we were. Okay, so French Revolution has come and gone. It started small, it grew big, the king was killed, um, and then the Reign of Terror came, and there was just madness, right? And then after the wars were over, the Reign of Terror ends, Robespierre is killed, and the Directory takes over. And they're kind of a weak government that seem to be ruled by the rich, and they're not popular. And that's important to understand for this conversation. A lot of people felt like, why do we do that whole revolution if this is what we get? The rich ruling us instead of the king. What's the difference? Um, so let's talk about Napoleon. He was born in Corsica, which is an island off of France, in 1769. He went to military school and became an officer in the French army. So he was a commoner, which made him popular with the people. After the French Revolution in 1792, Napoleon becomes a captain, and in 1794, he becomes a general of the French army. In 1796, he became the general of the entire French army in Italy, and he wins many battles. Specifically, he wins some battles in in Egypt. Um, and then he goes and he brings back a lot of the treasures of the Egyptians, which, by the way, they still have. They haven't given them back. Um, they're not the only ones, though. I got to tell you guys, I've been to the Met in New York, and I've seen the Egyptian um, Egypt in the museum there. I've also seen King Tut when he came here to LACMA. We also have some of their artifacts. Should we give them back? I don't know. So here we go. We're continuing with Napoleon. In 1799, Napoleon takes part in a coup d'etat. He marches his army into Paris. He takes control of France. He takes complete control. And in 1802, he makes himself emperor for life. He uses the word emperor, which is connecting him with the old Roman Empire. Remember, France was part of the Roman Empire for 500 years. And, well, Napoleon's an emperor. One of the first things he does is he makes peace with the church, which makes the people happy. The majority of French are still Catholic. And the fact that now there's peace with the church makes him more popular among the people. So here's a non-rich guy with no noble bloodlines who just made peace with the church. People in France like him. He also made a code of laws called the Napoleonic Code that spread throughout France. And within those laws included many ideas from the French Revolution, including things like the abolishment of serfdom. So he ends serfdom. Remember, serfdom is different than peasantry in that you're tied to the Lord's land and you almost are kind of a slave. You work his land for free, and he gives you a place to stay and eat. I mean, it's not the brutal slavery of the Americas, but I don't know. It's not like just being a regular old poor guy who can just move whenever he wants. If you want to get married, you got to ask the Lord's permission. There's a lot of kind of control of your life in serfdom. One thing, though, that he veers from the path of the French Revolution is that he takes away all rights of women. So the French Revolution did not give women equal rights, but there were some rights there that women had earned over the period of the French Revolution and even bits before. Rights about property rights and rights about freedom from your husband. Napoleon is very sexist, and he says that women um, need to just basically obey their husbands, and they have no property rights. By the way, their kids aren't theirs, they're their husbands. Women have no rights. This really is a step back for women during this period. He makes a central government, his government in Paris is based on meritocracy, based on basically, if you're good at your job, you get moved up. That's our system, right? Our system in government in our country is not based on family ties, or it's not supposed to be. It's based on, if you're good, you get a job. If you're not, you don't. Um, he does limit some freedom by shutting down newspapers and banning books. So again, we see this kind of mixed message. Was he truly a French Revolutionary, or was he, or he just dabbled, put in some ideas of the French Revolution, and other things he went against ideals of the French Revolution.